everyone. Christina Whiteley here, realtor with Fabulous Homes Colorado, powered by Keller Williams Freedom. And this is Fabulous Neighbors of Colorado, where we feature local businesses and entrepreneurs. And today I'm so lucky I'm sitting with Erin Savage again. Hi, Erin.
Hello.
Not only does she do insurance, but she's also the owner of Savagenusiclessons. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. You had a piano lesson before we filmed.
Yes.
And this is being filmed during quarantine. So how did that work? How did you do that?
So essentially the same way we're right now, other than I don't use the Zoom meetings for that. I actually use the Facebook live, or not live, but Facebook meetings or FaceTime.
Oh.
If they have Apple devices, I can do that. And so what I do is I just have the parent call me on Facebook and put my screen right in front of my piano, and then they place their screen in front of their kids so I can see their hands and see the music and be able to talk to the child. And then I also keep their music that they're working on with me too, so that I can see what they're looking at and talk to them about it back and forth. And then I just pretty much listen and correct from there.
That is so cool that you can still do this and give your students something to do while I know my kids are bored and they're probably looking forward to those lessons or just something to forget about everything for a minute.
Right.
That's really cool. So how did you get started in the music business?
So my mom would tell you that I started singing before I was talking. There's actually pictures of me standing in front of our piano with a diaper on and a microphone. So that's definitely legit at that point. But the weird thing was I actually didn't do very much of it in elementary school. I kind of just did what the requirement was. And it wasn't until middle school that I had another teacher kind of say, hey, if you really like music, you should try to do choir. And from there, I did choir all the way through high school. I wound up getting into UNC up in Greeley for music education as well. And then with that, you are required to learn multiple instruments. So I already knew piano at that point, and then just wound up learning a bunch of other musical instruments along the way. And then after I graduated with my degree, I actually did semi-professional theater in Denver for a long time, up until literally up until I had my son. So the night before I went into labor with my son, I actually was on stage dancing for Cinderella. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's so cool. My daughter's a flautist. I think I'm saying that right? Yeah. I don't have a musical bone in my body, although I do like to go to concerts. And then my middle son is an oboist. Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Okay. And then my husband plays the violin and the piano. And then me and the youngest kid, we just don't. Not in our DNA. He doesn't look anything like me, but yeah, he got my genes for that one. So I think that's really cool. So what services do you offer?
So right now, the main ones that I do are piano and voice. Voice, I will say, is hard to do voice lessons over the internet just because there's always a slight delay. And so when I'm playing the piano for a student, it's hard for them to sing while I'm playing it because then I think I'm off and then they think they're off and it just doesn't work. So right now, my voice students are kind of taking a little bit of a break, but piano is still really easy to do online. I also been working on trying to put together choir options, especially for people that do homeschooling just as a normal versus what we're doing right now. But normally they do homeschooling. It's nice to have that extra. And then from there, having the theater aspect of it. So I would say you kind of put those all together when you're doing music, especially when you're singing, to have these different levels. And I am able to teach all of them. But like I said, right now, piano is kind of the main thing that I'm focusing on just with the quarantine. So,
yeah, but I think it's great that you can still do that. So what do you feel is the importance of music in a child's life? It's very important.
It is. And there's actually things that people don't realize. So you always have the initial, their way of expressing themselves, having that performance, being able to get in front of, somebody and break that fear of being able to play, being well-rounded and having that musical side of them. But the other thing that music does is it actually ties in a lot of other things as well. Music is math-based. And I think a lot of people don't realize how math-based it is. One of the things I even just did today with the lesson was talking about breaking down music. So if you look at, and we'll just do a quick little thing here that I do with people. So when you're teaching notes, there's quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. So the way I like to teach little kids is I talk about they have a pizza. So if you have a pizza and it's a whole pizza, that whole pizza has 4 slices. So that's what a whole note is. It's 4 beats because it's 4 slices. If you take half the pizza, you only have 2 pieces left, and that's a half note. It's 2 beats long. And then each individual slice is a single beat, which is a quarter note, and that's 1 piece. So 1 quarter note makes 2 for half note makes half the pizza, and then 4 quarter notes makes a whole pizza. So that's how we talk about it, even just in a mathematical sense too, as well. And then obviously if you're singing, you have the lyrics of the song, so the English that you're doing. And I also teach in second languages as well. So you're learning second language when you're singing too, for some of the advanced pieces.
That's really cool. I never realized math was in music. I had no idea. Well, I'm not good at it, so I didn't know. But that's cool. I like that. So we're both moms, so we understand our kids get on these kicks, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And you offer something that I really thought was so cool. You offer a trial period.
I do.
And that's amazing. How does that work?
So the very first lesson that I do is free, because I think that a kid needs to come and see if they like me, see if they like what they're doing. So the very first lesson that they do, I don't require them to buy any of the books right away. Even if they want to have another lesson just to see how it is and they're really not sure yet, we can do it as a half price lesson, so $10 instead of the free lesson. But the very first one's always going to be free, and then after that we'll kind of go from there. And usually I would say they probably will know after a few, like 2 or 3 lessons, if they're going to want to keep doing it. So if they haven't decided by then we may need to figure something out, but that's usually what I do for the trial side of things.
Well, I appreciate that as a mom, because my kids are always to do something, and it's like, is he really going to stick with it?
And then I always do a package for the books as well. So when you're a young learner, there's 3 books that you get plus flashcards and then a lesson. Normally you would have to pay, I want to say it's around $25 or $30 to get everything, but because I get a discount, I give everybody the whole package for $20 to get all of the books that they need, and then they get the flashcards for free essentially from me, and the flashcards are really helpful.
Okay. And what days of the week do you do lessons on?
So when we're not in quarantine, I tend to do my lessons on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will make exceptions if there's something, but my kids have stuff going on Mondays and Fridays. So it's usually hard for me to run and go do that and then come back. In the summer, it's a really easy. I'll open up for most days in the summer and even in the mornings. And then right now I'm pretty open as well, just because I can jump and teach. Okay,
perfect. And what do the students need to have in their home to get started with you?
So you're not required to have a piano right away. I understand that that's a big expense.
Yeah.
Just to go, okay, my kid wants to start playing an instrument. Well, they want to play piano. Let me go shout out $300 for an electric piano. That's not necessary. So when you're first learning piano, you're learning how to hold your hands. You're learning how to understand certain notes. So you could even just take a piece of paper and write a keyboard on it and teach them based off of those first little things of the keyboard. Eventually, yes, you would want to have either a keyboard or a piano. I highly recommend checking Facebook, because people, when they have upright pianos are a dime a dozen. There's so many of them, and people just don't want them anymore. They are heavy. They are hard to move. They are a big pain, and you can find them for free. You can find them for cheap, especially if you're willing to move it yourself. You can find them. And I have a tuner that I work with that only charges like $80 for a tune-up. So honestly, you could probably get your kid rolling for about $100 if you really, really wanted them to, if they were really, really serious about playing piano. But other than that, starting with a small keyboard, especially for little kids, it only has to have probably, I would say, like 26 keys, and you could get through with just that for now.
Okay. I agree. Facebook, we sell a lot of homes, and pianos and pool tables get left behind a lot. I've sold many a home that has the piano included just because of that. And so you're absolutely right. And I see them getting sold all the time. So that's actually really smart. So, well, thank you so much for being our guest again. And we will definitely have all of Erin's information in the description below, so you can reach out to her for your music lessons. And if you would like to be featured, go ahead and make a comment below, and I will reach out to you. Remember who to call for all of your fabulous real estate and music lesson needs. Make it a fabulous day. Bye.
Bye.